So you found out your bank requires flood insurance. You're shopping around with these different options. You're trying to figure out, hey, how much is this really going to cost me? That's a question we get from real estate investors every day. And in today's video, I'm answering that question for you. But before we get started, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit share, subscribe, and like the channel below so other people can find the same valuable content. Hi, I'm Chris with the Flood Insurance Guru. For more than a decade, I've been helping real estate investors like yourself minimize flood insurance costs and flood risk to maximize profit per door on their real estate investment property. Today, we're talking about flood insurance costs, what you really need to know as a real estate investor. What determines your flood insurance costs? What can you control? What can you not control? And that's what we're talking about in today's video. So in talking about this, we've also got to briefly talk about the different flood insurance options. And that is like the National Flood Insurance Program, also known as the Federal Flood Insurance Program. Then you've got private flood insurance. These two models build rates differently. Let's talk about the Federal Flood Insurance Program first. Let's talk about what drives cost, what doesn't. First of all, let's talk about what doesn't drive costs, and that is flood zones. As of 2021, flood zones are no longer used to determine flood insurance rates with the National Flood Insurance Program. What is then? One of the biggest rate drivers we see after helping hundreds of people for more or less than a decade are the replacement cost of the building, distance to water, the elevation of the building, flooding frequency, type of flooding, all these different things kind of go into a pool to determine your flood risk score with the National Flood Insurance Program. And this is not a set score. This is a score that can change over time. We see it happen time and time again. So this is how the National Flood Insurance Program determines their rates. So what about private flood insurance? Flood insurance quotes. You want to make sure you're getting at least 5 different private flood insurance quotes. No matter where you go, the National Flood Insurance Program rating should be the same. However, with private, each company's going to look at things differently because each one of them is building their own flood risk score differently. Some of them have different contracts with reinsurance companies, but on average, they're using a lot of the same factors. However, some of them still are using flood zones. They're definitely using replacement costs, the type of flooding, flooding frequency, elevation, distance to water. One big, huge rate driver, and we talked about this in one of our other videos, is distance to a floodway. Remember, a floodway is going to be your overflow source, whether it's a creek, a river, whatever. It's kind of on the bank there. The closer you are to that, the bigger the impact it could be on your flood insurance premium. And look, you can't control that. There's a lot of different things you can't control, but one thing you can control sometimes is the replacement cost of your property by having an accurate appraisal. If you've got a recent appraisal, you want to make sure this matches up with what the flood company has, because this could be a huge difference in rate for you. Now, when looking at your flood insurance rates, things that typically also don't impact the rate that much are going to be your deductible. We always hear people, hey, I want a high deductible. But on average, we see it save people 2.5% going from a $1,000 deductible to a $5,000. So it doesn't impact the rate much. What does impact the rate, whether it's with private, whether it's with the National Flood Insurance Program, is also going to be contents coverage. You see, as a real estate investor, you probably don't need as much contents coverage as someone who has a primary house, who has all their belongings here. In fact, as a real estate investor, you may have very little belongings here. Typically, what we see is that most real estate investors are only putting about $25,000 in coverage on their policy for personal belongings here. And remember, we're talking about personal belongings. Turn your house upside down. Anything that falls out, it's going to be personal property. But personal property can impact your rate about 30 to 40%. So this is something that you could control. Now, building coverage, other than your replacement cost, you're not going to be able to control it that much, whether based on what your bank requires, getting the right replacement cost. However, some things that you could control potentially are going to be the elevation of the property. Like if you've got an elevation certificate, that could help significantly lower your rate to show that your property is higher elevated than what the federal government or these private companies are pulling. So that's what you could control. Things you also can't control typically are going to be the flood loss history on the property. Look, we just spoke to a real estate investor this week who was buying a property, and this property had 4 or more flood losses in the last 10 years. It put it on the severe repetitive loss list. This meant that flood insurance cost was going to be about $10,000 on a $300,000 investment. That was huge, and they were looking at flipping this property. Well, flipping it almost just became impossible at that rate. It also meant that private flood insurance wasn't available. There was only a special program through the federal program called NFIP Direct that was available for them. However, when we started diving deeper though, they didn't need all that contents coverage, and it ended up dropping their rate from $10,000 to $5,000. By dialing that coverage into the right amount, making sure we had the right building coverage for them, which was the max of $250 here, because that's all the federal program offered, having the right replacement cost, using the appraisal to dial that in, all these different factors help contribute to getting that rate down to $5,000. This is just one example of how you can use these things to lower your cost as a real estate investor. So now let's go back and kind of talk about what we've talked about in this video a little bit. That is, what controls flood insurance costs? Typically, on average, it's replacement cost of the property. It's going to be the building coverage amount. It could be contents coverage. It could be the elevation of your property, whether you've got an elevation certificate or not, and flood loss history, your distance to a floodway. And look, in the description below, we've also got your guide to flood insurance, whether it's the federal program or private, to help you understand this as a real estate investor. And so one of our next videos, we're going to be talking about severe repetitive loss properties as a real estate investor, what you need to know about these properties to avoid them, to make sure you're maximizing your profit per door. But before we get started, maybe you're ready to take the next steps of getting a quote. It's simple. Step 1, fill out the form on our website. Step 2, connect with myself or one of our flood risk advisors. And Step 3, finalize your policy. It's that simple. I'm Chris with the Flood Insurance Guru, and I look forward to helping you with your flood insurance, and also seeing you stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.